Monday. Welcome back to my podcast. I'm your host, Iman Tarib. And today's episode is about one phrase. It is in French, but it did shape how I face setbacks. And the phrase is, Iman, tu assumes. And it translates to, you own it. You take responsibility. My dad said those exact words right after my car was stolen. It was broken into. It wasn't really stolen. And those words have echoed through every single chapter of my life. This happened probably back in 2009 or 2010, but it was when I was a medical student. And since then, it has been with me as an international medical graduate, as a woman in surgery, and as an immigrant chasing a dream in a new country. This is the story of a stolen car and how it taught me to stop waiting for rescue and start leading my own rescue mission instead. Picture this. I'm in medical school, in my third year of medical school, I believe, juggling classes, call shifts. I'm doing clerkship in nephrology, I remember so well. It was that dizzy mix of independence and immaturity that comes with your early 20s. One evening, I stayed really late studying with my friend, and I decided to just spend the night with her. She lived right across the street from our medical school, and I thought, what's the big deal? That's even better. Tomorrow morning, I don't have to come all the way from my place, which was farther down the street. So I spent the night with my friend, and the next morning, I'm up bright and early. I gotta go to my clerkship in nephrology, and we had to be there really early. To my surprise, there was a big rock in my driving seat in my car, with the windows both broken in the front of the car, the radio station thingy from the car stolen. It was a mess. There was shattered glass everywhere. My heart dropped. Panic, anger, a little bit of denial. I was in shock. And in a true daddy's girl fashion, first thing I do is I call my dad, expecting sympathy, maybe a heroic plan to fix everything, maybe the usual, you know what, hang up the phone, I'm going to call my friend and he'll come and help you immediately type thing. But instead, my dad paused and he said very calmly, Iman, who wanted to have a car? I said, what do you mean? What are you talking about? What should I do? He went like, Iman, who wanted to have a car? I said, I did. I wanted a car. So he said, Iman, tu assumes. And he hung up on me. At first I thought, excuse me? My car just got shattered. And you want me to assume? What am I supposed to do? But really what it meant was, own the situation, girl. Figure it out. Take responsibility for the choices that led there. Where I parked, how I secured it, the reality of living in a place where theft was pretty common, to be honest. In retrospect, it wasn't completely about blaming myself for the crime. It was about recognizing that waiting for someone else to rescue me would not help. I needed to step up, file the report, go to the police station, handle the logistics, and most importantly, decide what I would do differently next time. That moment came back to me so many times in medical school. Every time an exam went badly or a case presentation flopped, I wanted to blame the system, the professor, the unfair question. But deep down, I heard, Iman, tu assumes. Did I put in the hours? Did I ask for help when I needed it? Was I actually present? Was I giving it my best? Taking accountability did not make medical school less intense, but it did give me clarity. It pushed me to prepare more intentionally, to own my mistakes instead of hiding behind excuses, and to celebrate small wins because I knew how much effort they took. Then I came to the US, and when you're an international medical graduate, accountability becomes even more personal. No one hands you a perfect map. Nobody. You have to create your own path. Exams, visa, observerships, research, networking, match this, match that. My goodness, even getting the information was so painful. There were so many moments when I felt like the odds were stacked too high. But I reminded myself, I chose this dream and I am responsible for building the scaffolding that supports it. Tu assumes meant I couldn't just complain about the system. I had to learn it, adapt to it, and make it work for me. Just figure out a way for it to work for me. It even made my coping mechanism to failure, which, believe me, I have a museum of failure. I'll share with you all someday. But every time I was faced with failure, this phrase would always come back to me. And instead of thinking, this is unfair, this is too hard, I would think, what did I do wrong? What could I have done better? And that kept me moving. There are so many layers in our life. Being a woman in surgery, being in a mixed relationship, you walk into so many rooms where people just assume you do not belong. Early on, I caught myself shrinking to fit other people's comfort zones. But accountability works both ways. I had to own my competence and my belonging just as much as my errors and how different I was. I had to show up prepared, speak with clarity, and not wait for permission to take space at the table or at the operating microscope. And then there's the immigrant chapter. I'm an expat, guys. That's how I like to call myself. But moving countries, moving continents, starting over, learning unspoken rules of a society where I had never lived before, it is tempting to dwell on how hard it is. But accountability has been my anchor. No one else can integrate for you. You have to build your own network or balance the nostalgia for home, Morocco, with the excitement of new opportunities here in the US. When I faced visa delays, licensing hoops, or loneliness, which, oh my God, that's a whole chapter on its own, Imen, tu assumes came back to me every single time. And it led me to think, all right, this sucks, but what is it that I can control? What action can I take right now in this moment, today, even if it's just sending one more email or showing up to a community event alone or whatever it is to make things better for myself? Because that is my life and I am the captain of this ship. Through all of these stages, as a medical student, as an IMG, as an expat, accountability has been a kind of freedom. It doesn't mean everything is my fault. It means everything is within my power to respond to and to rise above. The sooner I own my story, the sooner I stop waiting for someone else to steer it for me. I have so many stories to tell you guys, but I really want to keep these episodes short and sweet for you to enjoy on a quick drive or a quick run. But if you're listening to this today and walking through one of these paths, here are some tools that helped me live my true Imen tu assumes best life. First, audit your reactions. When something goes wrong, pause before blaming or spiraling. Ask, what part of this is mine to own? Before you start projecting all of it on the rest of the world. Number 2, reframe challenges as evidence. Every time you go through something shocking, difficult, challenging that you at a certain moment thought was impossible to go through, once you actually do it, that is proof that you can survive the next one. And why would the next one be any different? You can do it every single time. And number 3, remember that accountability does not mean isolation. It is okay to seek mentorship and support. In fact, it is favorable. Owning your path does not mean walking it alone. Because in medicine and in life, people are rewarded when they can admit, adjust, and grow. I always tell medical students and interns and residents, whatever, medical trainees, I always tell them, ask questions. If I could go back in time and do anything differently as a medical trainee, I would ask so many more questions than I already did. All right, this is getting too long, guys, but that stolen car is long gone. It was a beautiful, cute little small Chevrolet Spark. It was gray and super fast. But the lesson that it left me has been priceless. Whether you are a medical student preparing for finals, if you're an IMG chasing a match list, or a woman carving space in surgery or any other space for that matter, remember, tu assumes, because you've got this, my friend. This week, I invite you to notice one area where you have been waiting for rescue. And I know that you know exactly what I'm talking about. That area or that thing that you've been wanting to do for the longest time, and you've been finding all the excuses and the reasons not to do it, waiting for a knight in a shining armor to come and grab your arm and take you somewhere where it's going to become reality. Instead, my friend, I want you to step into ownership. Even if it's just one small action, that thing you want to do, that thing that needs to happen for you, you got to do it. You got to make it happen. And trust me, the feeling of making it happen for yourself, oh my goodness, that is exquisite. That is elite. Now you go and get it, my friend. All right, sorry if I yelled at you, but it's only because I love you. Thank you for tuning in to Medicine Mindset Morocco. I'm your host, Imen Terib. Share this with someone who's navigating their own storm and subscribe so we can keep growing together. Until next time, stay bold, stay grounded, and take ownership of your journey, my friend. Tu assumes, hein? See you next time.